Good that you're watching to the weekly stream where we discuss all the gaming news and more. Let's turn on the lights. Let's go. Let's see if we are live. Yes, we are, I think. It's all great. So thanks everyone for joining, of course. Share it real quick on the channel that we're live. Yeah, I wasn't able to stream on the regular Wednesday. Of course, usually we stream on Wednesday. We have to think how we're gonna do it. That's something for later. Live now. Discussing the latest gaming news week. Hey, Saber Knight, hey, Palik. Steven, good to see you as well. East Blue Drew saw you already. One try only. March 4th and the 19th feel so far away because, yes, if you are sleeping under a rock where I pull out a sword, because, yes, as you all might know, this happened yesterday. Flip. I was at a Crimson Desert event in Amsterdam, and I got myself a really big sword that I did have to sadly give back. But Reddit Venom, good to see you as well. And it was a lot of fun, the event. But I cannot say anything else about the game. So you have to just wait till March 4th. That is when the content can go live. Arendelle, thanks for joining as well. Steven says, I saw you. Whoa, are you more? Or are you like Sauron? What is this? Frankie Chu, good to see you as well. Carl Anderson, Slawomir, good to see you too. YoviCast, Watch Dogs movie coming this year. No, I told you guys about the Watch Dogs person, right? Good that you're joining as well, and thanks for joining with a new with a new account. Stephen Martin, sword looks good on you. Well, Skeptic Cowboy. Maybe I should do more LARPing. Or I never did it, but never say never. Did you play Requiem, Resident Evil? How is it? Arthur Morgan, thanks for joining as well. Sadly not. No. I did. I'm happy that the game is getting very good reviews. It is, of course, currently at a 88 on the Metacritics, as we can see. So that is very good. But I thought one article was pretty interesting. I'm not sure if people want to know it. Kiever, good to see you. GG. What's up, hey Ninja Beer? It's good to see a lot of like new names and faces here as well. Because we're streaming on Thursday now, which is always interesting. Always interesting. But thanks everyone for joining. But yeah, of course, Resident Evil 88, really good. We got some 10s. But I heard it's around the 10 hours long or something. It's relatively short. Is that like a, for the people who are looking forward to it, that actually, yeah, it's not that long. It's not that long, but I would rather have like a very, very good 10 hours than a game that is like double that and not as impactful. But it depends on the type of game for me. If it's like a more of a linear narrative focused game like Resident Evil, then I'm fine with it being kind of shorter. But if it's like a huge open world game or something, like a Spider-Man, 20 hours was not enough. So I did not play it. Hey Jojo, Resident Evil, good game, yes. Snoop Willpack, good to see you too. So yeah, I don't have a code. I'm not the one that you should talk about or talk to for Resident Evil. What we can talk about though, and this was kind of random. Overall, it's gonna be an interesting Sunday video, I think, because yeah, we have quite some interesting news, and it's still Thursday, so maybe something more will drop, and then next week is of course gonna be crazy. But yeah, out of nowhere, this was so weird. Remember last stream we ended with a document that I'm gonna open. I should be careful with what type of documents I open though. But yeah, we had the release, the 2020 game 6 games list. So we can update that because this week we learned Youpidoo Wolverine is in the house on September 15th, which I thought was pretty interesting. Hey Ethan, good to see you as well. Jojo, horror games sit from 6 to 10. Alien Isolation is a big exception to the rule. Crimson is going to be epic. Yeah, Snoop, I will share more on that on March 4th. That is when I can talk about it. And I will not say more about it. That is always the interesting thing about the streams that I do after we know there's like has been an event. But that is sadly all I can say. I don't want to say anything, and then it will end up on Reddit. Then yeah, people will get angry. Some reviewers finished the game in 8.5 hours. I won't pay $70 for that. Yeah, Resident Evil. Yeah, you can of course then wait. But yeah, I saw the IGN article. I thought that was pretty interesting. It is also kind of crazy that they can even make articles like it. Let's quickly pull that up. Here, how long is Resident Evil Requiem? So they got they got their review, of course. They had 5 people already play it. I'm not gonna like talk like look at any of the extra info, but here, our fastest player finished it in 4.5 hours. That is crazy. And our slowest player finished it in 16 hours. I think that's for a slow player. So I would imagine this is a player who really like looks in every drawer and stuff and really tries to get everything. 16 hours is not a long time. So yeah, we have the senior video producer, 8 hours and 59 minutes. Okay, that's very basically 9 hours on the standard, and then ran through it in 4 hours, 38 minutes on Insanity. Yeah, so this person was really, yeah, okay, 10 hours on standard. So yeah, it seems to be the 10 hours. I think the 8.5 is kind of crazy. I don't think that's the common one. Hey Severus, good to see you as well. Is the Watch Dogs movie finished? Oh, I hope it comes out because then he will just change to the game. The big open world chase during the PS4 gen is part of why games take longer to make and are bloated. No, Bank. It's way more complicated than that. Like, we're already seeing that here in the chat. There are people saying, I'm not paying full price for a game that is 8.5 hours. Now, Resident Evil seems to be 10 hours, like, in general. But, yeah, people look at that. They say, okay, so I'm spending this amount. I'm only getting this. That's not a good value. And that is what a lot of publishers saw as well. And then they were like, yeah, if we can add more hours to a game, people feel that it's more worth their money. So that was one reason why. Now, obviously, some companies took it like to the extreme, like a Ubisoft, because what they saw is also, okay, if people are spending more time in our game and we sell extra content or extra items, they're more inclined to pay for them. They're like, the more it's the same as, for example, you have a festival and you start from, I don't know, you start at 9 a.m. It's not a crazy festival, and then you end at 11. if you are at the festival at 9 a.m. already there, like very early, then you will spend more money on drinks and other stuff than if you go there like 4 p.m. So it's like maybe a weird analogy, but it makes sense, right? The more you spend time with something, the more you see, and are more engaged, and the higher the chances that you will pay for stuff, and that's what their data saw. So, or that's what their data showed. So obviously, if everyone is paying X amount for this game, but they see, okay, if we add 20 hours on top of it, maybe our Metacritic will take a hit minus 0.5 or something like that, but we might make way more money from microtransactions. It might be worth it. So that's, of course, not a good reason to do it, but yeah, they're, of course, corporations. And yeah, the third party publishers, they only get money from games and the extra content people buy in their games. While a Sony, with a game like Wolverine or with like their big exclusives, they don't have to do that because yeah, they are fine with like their content is also used to sell consoles, and Sony's microtransactions are basically all the other stuff you buy on the PlayStation. Um, Damn, Wolverine, the GTA plus Phantom Blade Zero this year is gonna be a big year. Yeah, we're gonna pull up the document that we made last week in a moment here. Let's catch up on some other things. Are you gonna clap MVs? Motherfuckers on marathon today. Well, Loons, I am actually weirdly excited is a big word, but I am curious about marathon, and I know it's gonna start in 15 minutes. When is marathon opens? Marathon server slam. When does it start? It starts in like 15 minutes, right? 10 a.m. PT. Oh, no. That's 7 p.m. It seems, but not during the stream. So I have so much work to do with the Crimson Desert embargo and with some other stuff as well that I want to like try it, but I'm also like I don't think I can like get my friends to play or line up with them. I am going to be very curious to see how the game does and look at it from a distance for a business perspective, because again, a lot is riding on it to yeah, for Bungie, of course. But so far, I think the things that we are seeing, or actually the sort of buzz, I think today it actually got the number 4 in the Steam charts. So that is a good sign, at least, and that is without the beta, of course. So it's gonna be interesting. I hope they can nail it. It's one of the new like gameplay things. So I've been playing. I was like a huge Destiny 1 fan. I played a lot of that, and I I don't know. I think the world just feels very very cool to explore, but I don't know. It's sadly not the right time for me with Crimson Desert, and that like there's so much content to make on Crimson Desert that, and this might sound crazy, but the more rounds I play, the less videos are going to drop from Crimson Desert. And of course, I hope we get or I can get like a review code for Crimson Desert as well, and that might be like I don't know when that is, but yeah, that will likely coincide with the marathon release too. Resident Evil 9 Game of the Year, calling it now. Um, I think it's too early to say. I think it's too early to say. You literally, Lauren says, you got me through AC Vala. You rock. As if that's like I mean, it is a huge undertaking. That game, talking about long games, is 100 hours. Like, I think, and I really hope the next assess. I mean, Shadows was a bit better, but still, There was a lot of content that should have been side content that was main content. I really think that. So I think they should focus more on having like a very cool main story that people after that are like left wanting more, and then do the side content instead of forcing people down these like non-exciting main story missions that feel more like side missions. Game of the Year fight. It's going to be a fight this year. I don't know. I think with by the way, this menu feels like you got to take a class on what's happening here, man. It's like so many icons, but I'm sure it will make sense when you play. I hope. But yeah, I think overall, let's see, the Game of the Year. Yeah, I mean, if GTA launches, I think it's pretty clear that that game will win Game of the Year. I think it would be crazy if it's not GTA. 10 to 15 hours is plenty, especially when you consider it's a replayable game with higher difficulty levels. Yeah, if you know you're gonna replay Resident Evil, then of course you can get more money out of it. How do you feel about Wolverine coming out? Yeah, we of course kind of touched on that already. For me, my immediate thought was, okay, let's bring up the document we made last week. This is the 2026 games list. So, of course, Crimson Desert coming up. We have The Witcher 3 DLC rumored for May. Then 007 First Light in May. Let's put Lego Batman here, too. I know people are excited for that. That is the same day, right? Lego Batman release date. It's like May 29th. That would be here. Lego Batman. May 29th. Then we continue. Control Resonant. That is my prediction, but it might be later. Black Flag is rumored for July 28th, but of course anything can change. I've then Blood of the Dawnwalker, or it's Blood of Dawnwalker. I always say the Dawnwalker, but it's this. And let's use uppercase here. Ooh. Yeah, I'm saying August, but we will see. Yeah, so September 9th, Wolverine, end of September was the prediction, early October. Well, they're going earlier. So we were close, but, or actually, like, I put that prediction here, but hey, let's celebrate that together. So this is my thing. This is my thing. It's like 1 week after Phantom Blade Zero, and I think they're really underestimating how big Phantom Blade Zero is going to be, because it's also a PlayStation console exclusive. So, interested in Beast of Reincarnation? Yeah, I have it like at other promising games. Here, August 4th. Why do you think Control will come out in June, July? Well, there was this investor call. Let's see. Control coming. Coming. End of 2 Insider Gaming. Here. Control Resonant release window set for Q2 2026. So this was according to a now a clear release window for the next game has been confirmed. I mean, has it been confirmed? I think this was from an investor or an analyst. We are now waiting for the release of Control Resonant at the end of Q2 2026. So that was obviously end of June, would that be? So that is where the prediction is coming from. But we will see if that is actually true, of course. Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis, I think, is already here. Prediction October, because I think that is when the when obviously the anniversary is. Do you think Far Cry 7 will be revealed at Summer Game Fest? Hey, Brandon, good to see you. A lot of new names and faces. I mean, maybe you were lurking and we're not like typing in the chat, but that's awesome. And that really shows me, okay, maybe if we do these more on different days, more people can join. And that is good. So obviously, I will focus on these streams being on Wednesday. Although next week because the embargo for Crimson Desert is next week when I usually do my show. So we'll have to wait and see if that actually makes sense. But we will see. How was the new gameplay from Crimson Desert at the event? Well, level Raton. I just can't say anything else. What I can say is I pulled out a sword for people who are just joining and are not following me on the Twitter or the Instagrams or the Facebooks. I'm back on Facebook. So yeah, this is what I did. So the event was in Amsterdam. And I was, yeah. I got a big sword. So that is pretty cool. And we got Pepsi Cola there becoming a Raptor member. That is super, super kind. You're the first member, I think, of this channel. And I appreciate you a lot. Of course, if you want to support that way, that is possible. I updated all the member stuff for the React channel. And of course, the React channel will be the home of these streams. And of course, for the many React videos that you've seen here on the channel already. Yeah, we have some. Yeah, here we have the Great Nerdsby. Nice name. Did you hear Hexay, the director, left, and now Jean Godon is directing it. I hope I say that name right. But yeah, you're right. I saw that too. Let's see where that news article is. Because that indeed is very, very interesting. Let's pull it up here, shall we? Assassin's Creed Hexay creative director will be leaving Ubisoft, with the new head of content taking his place. Vantage Studios recently announced new leadership for the Assassin's Creed franchise, with a trio tasked with taking over the brand, or taking the brand forward. The new rules included head of Assassin's Creed brand, head of content, and head of production excellence, with the head of content serving as the new creative director on Hexay. So I already made an Assassin Raptor video on that. If you are curious, you can check that out on the channel. Also talking about the future of Assassin's Creed and a big thing that I think they should do. But, according to VGC, a spokesperson revealed that Assassin's Creed Hexay's creative director, Clint Hawking, will be leaving Ubisoft. The spokesperson also revealed that development on the title will continue with a seasoned team, and the experience will be something distinctive within the Assassin's Creed franchise. More info will be shared by the studio in the future. The report states that there's a new creative director for Assassin's Creed, Jean Godon, the new head of content for the franchise. Godon is an experienced creative director, having served in that role on both Assassin's Creed Origins and Black Flag, two of the best Assassin's Creed games. This is kind of good news. I have to be honest, when I heard that Clint Hawking was the creative director on Hexay, I was not like really hyped about that, because if you don't know, Clint Hawking, Moby Games. Clint. We go to his Moby Games. We see this. The most recent thing that he was a creative director on is Watch Dogs Legion. And, like, I would argue that, sure, they needed to try something new with Legion, but the creative vision for that game just killed it in the end. It was kind of lacking the personality that we did have, like the personal connection with the main character that we did have with Marcus and Aiden, of course. So him then leading Hexay, I was always like, I'm not so sure. Oh my god, was he a creative director on Crucible? Dude, that's the Amazon freaking... Dude, that's the Amazon hero shooter. You might be like, what the heck are you talking about? But I actually have a Crucible backpack that I got from Amazon. Oh, the channel is still live. That is funny to me. Oh my god. This was like the Concorde before Concorde. Oh my god. This brings back memories. But he was a creative director on this. Okay. And then he went to work on Watch Dogs Legion. Hey, we're talking about Watch Dogs. That one person that wants to know about the movie. Yeah, like nice emote, Pepsi Cola. Okay, so again, I don't think it's like so we lose Clint, but we get the creative director from Black Flag and Origins. I think it's pretty good news. The backpack must be, yeah, I'm not sure. Let's see. It's like a very good backpack too. eBay. I don't think it's for sale. Crucible game. Amazon backpack. No, it's not for sale. I know you can't say much about Crimson Desert, but are you more impressed or no? I can't say anything. I actually hope the Just Cause franchise makes a return soon. Well, it's reborn. I don't think so because that team is having a really hard time. They canceled, I think, the Just Cause game. They canceled their heist game that they announced with Xbox. So I fear that the Just Cause franchise is over. Even though I do think there would be an audience for that, but not a big enough anymore. I think. Only GTA 6 can beat RDR2, and RDR2 is a masterpiece. What do you think about it? Arthur Morgan says in the chat. I mean, I hope so. But I think both games are, of course, different enough. So that even if GTA 6 might be a better game, people would still prefer RDR2. But, I mean, I remember playing RDR2 for the first time and the interactions with all the NPCs in the open world. I was really blown away by that. So if GTA 6 can already capture that, we're in for a really, really nice treat, of course. It's kind of wild. Like, I'm not focused on GTA yet because, again, we have so many other games coming out before that. Look at this. We're not even at the first one. Look at all these games. And then we also have all these games that maybe people still want to get. And maybe more will be announced. Although I think we have everything here. I would be shocked if more was going to be added to this. But we never know, of course. I'm a lurker, said Jacob. Well, Jacob, continue lurking? Or continue chatting? Do what you want, but thanks for joining. Bro, Just Cause went downhill bigger and bigger, but not really better. Yeah, I think at one point a lot of the developers that worked on the franchise just kind of left, and of course it was like very impressive to see some of the explosions they did and the destructible environments. But at one point, we had seen it before, and the story was never really engaging, at least from the ones that I played. So I totally think that yeah, maybe if they can like make one like cheaper or something, I don't know. But I think like a Just Cause game inside a level creator for another game. Maybe this sounds crazy, but like there are games that of course give tools to people that someone makes like a Just Cause game in that in those tools. I don't know. But there is still, I do think if they have like a new game and there's a trailer, people will show up. I do think it will easily get like 500k views. All I want is Requiem to be a good game that is worth replaying. Well, yeah, it's a good game. If it's worth replaying, I think really depends on what you are looking for. But and if you have replayed, I think the previous Resident Evil titles, right? It's something happening today. Both Yor and Luke moved their Wednesday streams. No, 53 nights. It's more that we were away yesterday. I was at the Crimson Desert event, and Luke probably too. So that's why we could not do the streams. That is probably what is happening. What are you predicting for the sales of Requiem flow? I think they're gonna be very good because the Resident Evil series is like one of the only. I mean, I think maybe the only horror series that actually sells more than 2 million copies. Because like that is what happened, of course, with Dead Space. EA wanted it to turn into something way bigger than it could ever be. And then, of course, they added like a lot of action elements, co-op, and all that sort of stuff, and that just did not work. So, and then they did the reboot, and that also did not sell as much as they hoped. Only Resident Evil can really, yeah, reach the mainstream and have a lot of overlap with the other horror games where everyone's favorite, like, even if you're a Silent Hill fan, if you're like a fan of the more indie horror games, people will show up for Resident Evil. And because of the production value and the games not coming out as often anymore, like the last one was, of course, was it the Resident Evil 4 remake? I think so, right? So that has been a long time. But they are, I think, going back to the yearly releases with like Code Veronica remake and stuff. But I think actually, yeah, I think the time that so it's like a 10-hour game or something. It actually made me curious as well, and I know like I see those games, I see those trailers, and I'm like, this looks so awesome, but I'm just a scary. I just can't vibe with horror stuff at all. I don't know. I live alone, and then like I think every time I'm gonna get hunted or something. But that's just the me problem. Hey, what content creators did you personally know that were at the event? I mean, it was the European event, so you have to like, I think Craze Gaming was at the event, but I did not see him. I was like, what? I wanted to meet him, but he was there. He posted on his community tab that he was there. I did not see him, and he rarely like shows his face. But I thought I still remembered what he looked like, but he maybe saw me. I would say like say hello or something, but maybe he thought, yeah, you're not saying hello to me. I don't know, but that was interesting. I think, like, of course, some people maybe communicated that they were there and that they were not there. Fragnard was, of course, there, the one and only Frankie boy. That's, of course, his English channel. Fragnard is his German channel. He posted that he was there. So met up with him. I, of course, did a lot of content with him in the past. And, yeah, really, really cool guy. So, and, yeah, not a lot of creators overall, I would say. A lot of press as well. A lot of press came there as well. That was a nice mix. Project DNA game. Did you see its gameplay? Look really cool. Project DNA game. Project DNA game. 20 hours ago. What is this?
Without death, does life still matter? No.
Like
I'll
a
find the answer.
Stellar Blade type of game. But we have a fire hand. Oh no, it's suddenly online. I thought it was a single player game. Oh, it is a fire sword now. And now we do Forspoken moves. This is the Forspoken Battle Royale. Get hyped, everyone. Okay, I've kind of seen enough, but wish them the best. Wish them the best. Blink twice if Crimson Desert will be good enough to be best. No comments, just blinking on cam. I'm trying. I'm not gonna react to that at all. Saber Knight. Saber Knight says, "Did you get the Hunters Gathering beta invite? I don't know if I will pick it up, but I was hoping to try the beta and maybe it would change my mind." I think I should be in the beta. So the beta they announced yesterday. We can quickly look at that. I'm really curious what this beta is going to do. This beta is going to be very interesting. Because, so here we go. Yeah, close test number 1. There will probably be more. Hunters, we know you've got questions about the upcoming playtest, so here you can find the most important answers to get ready. More questions, drop them down below. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, we're gonna change that to English. Playtest from February 27th till March 1st. So tomorrow it starts. EU time, so it's only live for 3 hours. And after, so that's probably US. PS5 and Steam, supported languages. What can you expect? 3 playable hunters, Machine Incursion, normal and hard, Cauldron Descent, Colorado Springs, so only 1 map, access to the gathering, a shared social space with the camp, and customization options. Why participate? Your feedback will help shape the final game. Many game systems are still in development. We will take this journey together. So this is interesting as well. Can I publicly stream or record the playtest, take screenshot or talk about it? No. This playtest is strictly confidential. During this test period, participants may only share their experiences with other testers in our private Discord channels. But it being like really on this page, and I have to like open this, I really think this is gonna leak all over the freaking place, and they're not very like they're not really upfront about it. Like they're not talking about it on their Twitter. So I think a lot of people without knowing will be streaming the game, will be sharing videos, and I'm really curious if Gorilla is gonna go after all of them. I don't know if they're gonna do that, but I think after this weekend, we will, it will be interesting, let's put it that way, what people think after actually seeing the game. Of course, right now we only had the 9-minute video, and that did not really go over well. So, like, last time a test for a Sony live service game happened was, that had a big impact, was, of course, for, Fair Games. So let's go to that article. Let's see. Haven Studios CEO leaves. So let's see if we can read this without... Okay, we can try it this way. So, of course, Fair Games being made by Haven Studios, a Canadian studio with a lot of ex-Ubisoft people. But yeah, Fair Games, of course, doesn't really look that exciting. So here we have an article from Bloomberg. PlayStation executive Jade Raymond leaves the studio she founded. Her company, Haven Studio, is developing an online shooter title called Fair Games. Jade Raymond, the founder and head of Sony Corp's game studio, Haven Studios, left the company. PlayStation leadership did not give her Haven staff a reason for her departure, but it came several weeks after an external test of a Haven's first game, the online shooter Fair Games, according to people with knowledge of the matter. Some developers at Haven were concerned about how the game was received and its progress, said the people, who asked not to be identified because they aren't authorized to speak publicly. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Jade Raymond is amazing. The spokesperson added that the company is committed to supporting Haven Studios and excited to continue the journey with a new co-studio head, Mary-Eve Denise and Pierre Francois. Fair Games announced in. So basically, they had a close test. The feedback wasn't very good, and the head of the studio leaves. I think even the Fair Games creative director left as well. Fair Games director leaves. Game director leaves Fair Games after 4.5 years developing. So basically, this might be a make or break moment for Horizon Hunters Gathering. That's all I'm saying. We will see. That is all I'm saying. Yor, did you see the new Crimson Desert leaked footage? No, I did not see it. I am kind of up to date on the Crimson Desert stuff, but I've not, of course, checked recently because I was at the event. Joseph says, hey, it's the guy who played Crimson Desert. Well, I was actually, before yesterday, also the guy who already played it. But it has been playable at, like, many events. So it's not that special. Only this new version, of course, was only played by a select group. There has been movement with Marvel 9043 Lonely Fates. Really? What is the movement? What is the movement? I'm looking at the Google News. I'm not saying anything. Or is it a question? Or is it a question? I'm not seeing anything. Nothing is happening. It's only delayed. I'm curious if that game will still come out. Horizon horror game, but with Concord characters. It is a horror game because of the characters. Did you see Warner Bros. CEO saying that they will return to their biggest franchise in 2027, 2028? Yes! Morphology. So yeah, that means Hogwarts Legacy 2 will likely launch next year, which is very exciting. That is very exciting indeed. Does changing creative director on a game in developing hinder their project or delayed for restart? Portable Mist. So, of course, you're talking about Hexay, I would say, with, of course, we already touched on Clint Hawking leaving, and, being taken over by Jean Goudon, who was the creative director on Black Flag and Origins. I really think the game is far along, because they were planning to launch at the end of this year, so I think they're very far, and another thing I wanted to quickly throw in here, which is interesting. Let's see. So we have Tom Anderson saying, some folks will be wary of this change, but Assassin's Creed Hexay is the one project everyone at Ubisoft wants to work on because of how good it's shaping up to be. Again, this week we have had some good news for the franchise. Tom Anderson, of course, knows people at Ubisoft, and he gets the negative side of things as well. So if the game was not doing too well, we would have heard about it as well, because it seems that the Far Cry projects are kind of having some issues. But him saying that Hexay is the one project everyone at Ubisoft wants to work on because of how good it's shaping up to be, that is good news indeed. So very interesting stuff. So yeah, I think him coming on as creative director, like I don't think they're gonna change that much. He's just gonna push it over the finish line, and maybe if they're doing a DLC, he will be leading that. But it is good to bring him on, because if this is successful, Hexay, then they might do a similar game like this. So again, this is gonna be a new type of Assassin's Creed game. So him having some experience, having worked on it, and then maybe doing the next one, could only be good. Could only be good. Hey, Jetlaner, good to see you. Mortal Kombat 2 official trailer, 6 million views in less than 24 hours. That is pretty crazy. That might be a big movie. Lady scammed Sony. Concord 3 Fair Games. I mean, that they were able, like, that all these developers were able to scam Sony says more about Sony than those people. Like, they probably just made what they thought the Sony leadership wanted to see, and the Sony leadership was like, Concord, that looks like the next Star Wars, let's freaking go. Oh, Fair Games? Yeah, we're raiding the houses of billionaires. That is what Gen Z wants. Let's go. Remember when I was saying that Watch Dogs should create a spin-off John Wick game, and they straight up made one? How far out do you think it is? North Romers, yeah, that is pretty cool that you said it. And I still think that a Watch Dogs John Wick type game would be awesome if you can then mid-fight like hack someone's phone and then they're like, and then you, oh man, I think the John Wick game is probably coming out next year. That would be my guess, because otherwise, why announce it now? Unless they want like to hire some people. But no, I think it's probably out next year. That would be my guess. Because this year is full. This year is full. We have talked about it. We know it. It's full. It's over. No one is allowed to launch in 2026 anymore when we look at the 2026 game list from the React stream. I miss the fair game $sign. Well, no one has ever said that sentence. Hogwarts Legacy 2, playable London. Woo! I hope Hogwarts Legacy 2 delivers. And I hope they don't go, let's make a Harry Potter game. Like, let's not do it during the Harry Potter year. Although they might do that because that would elevate the sequel in many ways. Like, that would be what people are excited about. Like, you are like your own student, but you see Harry Potter at school or something and all those famous characters. I don't know. I think it's better if they don't do that. I think it's better to pick another, like, give them more freedom. Like, that's, I think, why Hogwarts Legacy worked. Because they gave a lot of freedom. Like, I would have loved for them to go to a completely different school in a different country. I think that would have been the ballsy move. But they're not gonna do this. Like, what if you can pick where to start? And then go to the different schools? Like, they have, like, Hogwarts again. They either have to make a significant time jump, because they cannot do, like, Hogwarts Legacy 2 and it being, like, a year after the first game. I don't know. Watch Dogs is getting a movie or show, right? Stop! Stop! And you're... Turtle, I think... I think you don't get the meme. But, yeah, it's getting a movie. But you're not the first one asking. And there's always this person who always asks about Watch Dogs. But yeah, there is a movie or TV show coming. I think we are like the only stream where people still talk about Watch Dogs. Everyone else has just forgotten about it, I think. Didn't they talk about giving Crimson Death's review copies a month in advance? Don't you still have it? No, that's not true. I don't know where that rumor came from, but that is indeed not true. Would be also weird to kind of like go to an event to play the game after having already have it at home. That makes no sense at all. Because then I would be like, yo, I already finished the game. Why would I go to this event? So no, that's not true at all. We don't know when the review copies for Crimson Desert drop. Crimson Desert, 007, Fable, GTA, come on! Then Black Flag, Hexay, Red Dead Redemption 2 Next Gen. Well, it's not in the right order, but it's gonna be Crimson Desert first. Then it will be 007. Then it will be Black Flag. Then it will be... I would argue Red Dead Redemption Next Gen, they have to launch it before GTA. So I'm gonna say Black Flag, Red Dead Redemption Next Gen, then GTA, then Fable, then GTA, then Hexay. Yeah, but you can make a Harry Potter game not starting at Hogwarts, bro. They already made that Harry Potter game. But they need, like, wouldn't it be exciting to go to a completely new school? I think that would be awesome. Maybe, why? Who says they're gonna call it Hogwarts Legacy 2? I don't think it's gonna be called that. But if they stick with the school names. But no, they have the very unique opportunity to launch around the HBO show that everyone is gonna watch. So I'm sure they're gonna have some ties with that. That has been the rumor as well. That has been the rumor as well. Will they continue the story of Cal Kestis Star Wars? I'm more intrigued in how they're gonna grow the story of Marin. Like my prediction has always been that we're gonna play Marin, because I do think that's needed. We had a very kitted out Cal already with Jedi 3, so I think it's time. I think it's time to give us a different playable character. Maybe not announce it, although they have to like kind of like push it and announce it some way. So they might do that. But yeah, we have it of course here on the list. Star Wars Jedi 3. That has been the rumor. But I would be fine with it launching early 2027 as well. I don't need it in September. Like, that is, I think, the interesting story about the Wolverine release date. Why? When you had a state of play 2 weeks ago, let's see. Why not announce your Wolverine release date then? Did you really just, like, figure out the Wolverine release date this week? But I think this really shows that it's gonna be a freaking war in September. That's why I think Phantom Blade Zero was also like, we're September 9th. So now Marvel's like, we're September 15th. So every week, you will probably get a big... Like, at one point, Fable will be like, we are October 4th, or whatever. And then there's nothing left, if you are not a big game. It's gonna be a bloodbath. Sadly. But last year was already that. But now we have actual big hitters that would normally maybe launch in October. But yeah, they probably reached a very significant milestone for Wolverine and are like, yeah, we can make it. We can drop it. We can drop the game. We can really drop the game. Persona 6 coming this year. What? We have I Dread. Let's see. Is it still on? Yeah. Any games? Do you think any games will be pushed back to next year? So, of these titles, look, there's a lot of September, by the way. 7 games I'm expecting in September. Might not be the case, but it will be either September or October. And that like, if you can get the September date, you would prefer that over October because they are closer to GTA. But I think early to mid-October is still safe. For some games, I would say end of October would be safe too. But if I look at this list, what could be delayed? Of course, Jedi 3 is still like wishful thinking. I can totally see that being pushed. My prediction has always been that Fable gets delayed. Earlier this year, even like before they did the developer direct, I could see that being delayed. But they said autumn, which like fall, right? Yeah, so that starts September 23rd. So yeah, mid to end October was my prediction. But maybe they're like, yeah, we cannot get it done in October. And we're not launching it in November. So then they push it to like early. Again, I still think Fable has a chance of being delayed. GTA always has a chance of being delayed. This has a chance of not coming out. Hope. We're gonna do it properly. Of course, this is coming out, this is coming out, this is coming out. Plague Tale, it's like very quiet. So they might push that too. Lords of the Fallen 2, I've always thought it was very ambitious that they were already launching it this year. But I think apart from that, everything will likely drop. Only these 3 games, I think, are gonna be delayed. Or could be delayed. Let me know what you guys are saying. Yeah, a lot of people are saying Fable, yeah. Man, I mean, the game looked awesome. But you have to remember, Microsoft doesn't need it. Because other promising games, and we're doing other games. Because these are just games that are also coming out, but that I'm not excited about, and you probably not. Halo remake. Gears of War 6, 5? What is it? Gears of War 6? Or it's just E-Day? Those games are still coming. They got those games. And I would be shocked if Clockwork doesn't launch this year. That looked very, very close to being done last year during the showcase. The Xbox has these titles. And they have Fable. And Forza is in May. So everything is going to come after May. Which means that, are they really going to drop at least these 3 games? With Fable as well? Are they really going to drop all of them? In like a 3-month period? No. So that makes me think that Fable has a chance of being pushed. I think Halo will be maybe August. Halo could be, I think, early. I think there was Tom Warren Halo release date. Oh, it's summer. He said summer 2026, so that would be, yeah. Gears of War E-Day scheduled for the second half. So yeah, that's probably, I'm gonna say October for that. John Wick is not this year. I think the Prince of Persia Sense of Time might be delayed. Yeah, to never. Crimson Desert delayed. No. I played it yesterday. It's real. Maybe Blood of the Dawnwalker. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's pretty quiet, but that game fell pretty far along. I think the release that they are going to pick for that game is going to be very important. That's why I have it for August. Ghost of Yotei Legends is almost here, yes. Wolverine will be fun for 2 weeks, mainly for Tokyo and Canada. Otherwise, I think we will be done in Wolverine. I think Wolverine will be a very short game. I've said it multiple times. I think we'll be done in that in the weekend. Done with that in the weekend. End of the year is going to be expensive. Oh yeah. PlayStation makes no sense these days. I think they do kind of make sense. They just are not, like, I get why they're doing the things that they're doing. They're just not doing it well. I'm gonna choose Phantom Blade over Wolverine. Captain P, good that you're joining as always. I also think Phantom Blade Zero will be better than Wolverine. I think Phantom Blade Zero will be very special. Your video about Crimson Desert doing really well. Did you expect that? Not the levels that it did, but I obviously thought it would do well, but not like the 500k that it reached. So, hey Yor, hope you're doing well. Do you think Ubisoft's Morbid Metal will come to console or stay PC only? I think they're gonna see how it does on PC. I think that's a really weird Ubisoft title, but great they're supporting like this one-person dev team, Valaris. So I think it's interesting. Fable Combat looks like they better punch that up for real. Yeah. So polish that up. That's my thing as well. I think, again, of these titles, these are likely close to be like. Fable is a different type of beast. If they can give any game more time, I think they should give it to Fable. Because that seems a bit more ambitious with all the systems they got going on. So, look, people said, they're part of the developer direct. Your prediction was that it was delayed. How do you feel now? And I'm still like, it's still possible. I mean, Indiana Jones was also showed at the developer direct. And that launched in December. So maybe if they wanted to, like, maybe if they wanted to push Fable in December in that Indiana Jones slot, they're not gonna do that because of GTA, so then it's automatically pushed. Fable looks like Hogwarts Legacy combat at the moment. I think that's a very good point. Yeah. It looks like serviceable, but lacking any depth. It's like, yeah, we wanted to have you feel like you're in this, like, fantasy world, and obviously that requires combat, but yeah, we're not looking into making, like, any... I mean, it seems like you can still do a lot of things. You can be ranged. Like, they have some elements where you have to shoot a lantern. Like, I do like those types of elements where you have to hit a weak spot of the character before you can hit them. But I think it's gonna lack any, like, deep RPG elements or something. So it will probably be very bare bones, but serviceable. But so yeah, basically like Hogwarts Legacy. Yeah, I think that's a very good comparison. You wanted to be in that world, you wanted to play that game, but the more you played it, the shallow, like, you saw how shallow it actually was. But it was still fun because you like the world, and I think Fable will be like that too. It's gonna be impressive to see what they do with all those NPCs, but and starting a family, and I can't wait to explore that world. Like, it looks very, very pretty. But yeah, we will likely encounter the same type of enemies, and we will probably have one skill that is super OP, and we can just spam that and steamroll every encounter, something like that. Almost missed the stream. Nothing as short as Requiem. Oh yeah. Yeah, the 10-hour. Blood of Dawnwalker seems too janky. Euro janky. I mean, they're trying to, like, it might be, but I think Blood of the Dawnwalker can get away with it because they are trying some very interesting things with the amount of, like, choices you have and how you can tackle every mission during day and night, and how that really changes the... Like, I saw an example of that, and if every mission is like that, it's going to be very interesting, where during night you can teleport across rooftops, and you can just skip basically parts. You don't have to interact with anyone. Maybe you'll fight some enemies, but during day you have to help, like, you have to interact with people. The door is locked. You have to help them so you can open the door. Like, it's kind of a different game. And if if it's like, okay, it's a janky type of experience, but it offers something that we've not really seen, or that we rarely see for open world games. It's like, I think that is, for example, what the Obsidian games are missing. They are very well put together games, but there's nothing where you're shouting to your friends, look at what this game is doing. It's amazing. I think Blood of the Dawnwalker might not be, like... I mean, maybe it's not the best comparison with Obsidian, but at least from, like... Because I do think Blood of the Dawnwalkers looks pretty, like, similar in terms of AA budget wise versus an Obsidian game. Even though maybe the Obsidian games are even made better. But you get what I mean, right? If you look at Avowed and Outer Worlds 2, it doesn't look like The Witcher 4 or something. And they're not trying that, but I do think those types of games that kind of don't have that big AAA budget, and that you're not playing because it's like a big moment, and that they need their kind of like a special feature that you can't find elsewhere. And Blood of the Dawnwalker has a lot of that, so I'm looking forward to it. Which is gonna sell better, Phantom Blade Zero or Crimson Desert? I think it's gonna be very... It's hard to predict. But I think Crimson Desert has the potential to sell better because it's a big open world game. And I do think that speaks to more people than the more linear action game that Phantom Blade Zero is. But Phantom Blade Zero has the caveat of it's a Chinese game. Like, just like with Black Myth Wukong, maybe that will be a Chinese phenomenon. And then it can sell a lot in China. That's like Black Myth Wukong did very well in the West, but mostly in China. Dawnwalker looks amazing for smoke, and I agree. By the way, I know you can talk much about Crimson Desert, but one thing I'm confused about. The Deluxe Edition has cosmetic-only armor sets, but there's no transmog. How can both be true? That's a good point. So maybe it just like that armor doesn't have any stats. I don't know. But then yeah, why wear it? I agree. It's kind of weird. Maybe no, I really don't know how that would work. Unless there is transmog that we don't know about. I don't know. But it is a good point. I think Crimson Desert or 007 my main two for me personally, besides GTA. Well, you got a lot of time. Probably either pick one September game. September is gonna be quite busy as well. The Obsidian games are too streamlined. Very simple RPG systems. They don't understand their audience. Very good point, Mick Motorhead. Which of these games do you think has the higher potential of being Game of the Year nominations? Of the games here, of course, I'm not talking about Crimson Desert because I cannot say anything about it. And I can already see the Reddit post or whatever where it's like, oh, JorRaptor on the stream said Crimson Desert is Game of the Year material. Or he said that it's not Game of the Year material and he played it, so he knows things. So I think of these games, and we're going to uppercase them. I think Fable could potentially be a game that gets a nomination if they really nail, because Game of the Year games usually do something new. And Fable showed that it has like the potential. So I think Fable has a chance. GTA 6 obviously, and I think Resident Evil 9 has a very big chance. I'm for some reason a believer in Saros, but they kind of need to show more, but I know like Sony is focused on Marathon right now. Maybe Blood of Dawnwalker can, like, I can see a world where that gets a nomination, kind of the Kingdom Come Deliverance thing, right? Although I do think Kingdom Come will probably be the better game, but like again, they're trying something new here. Control, of course, Remedy, never count them out. They usually get a nomination if they put something out. So I would not be surprised if Control can reach that as well. So yeah, I would say Control, Fable, GTA 6, and Resident Evil 9, I think are kind of sure bets. And then probably a Nintendo game as well. And I would love it if like Star Wars Race or like something that we don't really see that often could be. Of course, Forza Horizon is coming out as well. It's not here, but yeah. Forza Horizon 6. Like May 13th or something. But yeah, I don't know. That game, the showing looked good, but not like amazing. I don't think that's like May 19th. I don't think that is like Game of the Year potential. While, of course, Forza Horizon 5 did win Game of the Year for IGN. Some thoughts on Wolverine, bro? The Wanderer. I think the September 15th is a nice release date. Like usually with Sony games, they drop pretty early in terms of the review period. So I do think if you are looking into Phantom Blade Zero and Wolverine, I think you would not be done with Phantom Blade Zero before Wolverine drops. But I think Wolverine, you can probably knock that out. Like that is the thing. Like we're already talking about it with Resident Evil. This year might be the year where we see quite some big games that are not that long. Like I think Phantom Blade Zero will be very long. But if we look at this list here, I think 007 First Light won't be very long. I think that will also be 15 hours, which fine. I think Control Resonant. I mean, the first Control was also not very long. Maybe this is longer. We don't know. Onimush, like a Wolverine. Again, I don't think it's gonna be very long. And I'm not saying that like length is like a bad thing, but yeah, it might be something that we see for some of the bigger games. And Resident Evil 9, we know that that's like 10 hours to complete that. Plague Tale will likely not be very long. Which is fine. And but yeah, like it's such an interesting conversation, of course, because people want a long game because we now wait for these games so long as well. Like that I always go back to Spider-Man 2. Every Sony exclusive was bigger, or like every Sony sequel during the PS5 generation based on a PS4 game. So God of War 2018, Ragnarok way bigger. Forbidden West, way bigger. And then Spider-Man 2 came out. It's the same. And we had that with Yote as well. It's the same. And I really think that, like, bigger is not always better, but I do think, like, when you start a new game, like Zero Dawn and Spider-Man 1, and you're building a lot of elements that you can then build upon in the sequel, so hopefully you have more time to actually create new content. And then we also still wait like 5 years, and then being finished in a weekend. But yeah, Spider-Man 2, I think the game is still really, really good. But like having all the cliffhangers as well that we still don't know when they're going to be resolved is really not good. But yeah, $70 for 10 hours is a no for me. Yeah, and I get it. And that might hurt Resident Evil 9, but I'm curious to see what happens in terms of the sales. But I get it. On the other hand, though, it's like, yeah, should I really compare it with like concerts and stuff? I don't know if that's a good idea. But those get very, 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 very expensive now too, and you only stand there for like 2 hours max. Unless you go to Taylor Swift, she put out the show for 3 hours. Sarah says DLC skin swap. I don't know. Is the hype justified for Crimson Desert without giving away anything, JorRaptor? That would give away stuff. Red Devils always. Trust me, you don't want me to say anything because then I am unable to go to future events, and that would not be good for anyone. Especially me. But also for you if you like the content. For 007, I bet 40 hours. Jet Laner. What are you inhaling? Sorry. What are we gonna do in 40 hours in 007? How many Bond girls are we gonna... Valar says, I know you had fun this week. Okay. Don't forget about Lego Batman as possible Game of the Year nomination. I would be shocked if that game gets Game of the Year. It looks good. We will see, though. I still hate Peter's new face. I'm with you. I still think that's... I really want a report on... Like, Jason Schreier, focus on the actual important stuff. Why did they change the face of Peter Parker in Spider-Man? That is what I want to know. I don't need a report on Blue Point or the new CEO from Xbox. That's not important. What happened with the old guy? With the old Peter, our true Peter. It's such a weird thing. Has that ever happened in a game before? Where they did a remaster and then changed the face of the character, like changed the actor. Something must have happened. Did we ever hear that? Chad is trolling you. I hope so, Jet Laner. Because I love 007, you want it to be 40 hours. I get it. I want the games to be as long as they are as well. Or longer. But sometimes longer is not always better. Like, I really think having sometimes the cliffhanger at the end of the season of your favorite TV show, you don't want it. You immediately want to know what's happening, but it's good that they don't give it away. Because that actually, even if you think you don't want it, it makes you more excited for whatever they are doing next. If they give away all the information, if they already said, yeah, this is how the series is gonna end, that would be no fun. So also with 007 First Light, if you hit credits and you're like, let's go, and oh no, it's over. Then when they announce the next game, you're like, let's go. But if it's like 40 hours and then they announce the next game, you're like, oh, I still have not beat the... He's at his 5th Bond girl now. I can't keep up. Like, that's not good. That is not good. Only Jet Laner would be happy about that. And I get it, Jet Laner, but still. Phantom Blade Zero is in September because it's a game where the community will come together and find different secrets and tips and tricks. So I want to play it with the community and go with Wolverine in October. Spider Boy 1472. You say something here that I am going to screenshot, and I think every freaking game publisher should look at this post, because I really think that not enough game publishers are thinking about this in terms of their release date. A prime example is Ghost of Yotei freaking Legends, launching a week before Crimson Desert. And then you're like, oh, a week is more than enough. Oh. And this hurts. I will probably only be streaming Ghost of Yotei Legends. I will do a stream, and then I say, I hope you have a good time. Figure it all out, because I have no time. And that means that we will not have that moment where we can come together as a community, find secrets and tips and tricks and everything else, and where basically your world can be about that game, because all you see is people play it. Remember Ghost of Tsushima Legends? That was the case. It was very exciting because we were all jumping in for the first time together and we were excited about it. But now, many creators, I talked to them yesterday as well at the Crimson Desert event. Everyone is like, the release date sucks. And I really think that Sucker Punch, like, they can, it's a free freaking mode. They can push that to April. And that would have been way better, because what is happening in April for the same audience? I think it's very, very sad. To be honest, I do expect at least 15 to 20 hours if I actually pay full price. Otherwise, I might actually wait for sales. Yeah, I think that might be the sweet spot for these games. But yeah, games are getting more expensive, and they're like, okay, we can make a very cool, oh my god, 10 hours, every hour is amazing, but we might lose X amount of sales full price. Or we can make it 15 hours, not get the higher Metacritic, because the critics will say, yeah, it kind of dragged on too long, like there were way too many waves of enemies or whatever at the end. And then, yeah, it says it's 15 hours, more people will show up buying it. It's very interesting, but I get both sides. I get both sides. My birthday is on the 17th, Jordan. Well, that is a pretty nice date, because then you can get Crimson Desert 2 days later. What suggestions did you give Gorilla for Hunter's Gathering? Is Hunter's Gathering dropping this year? We don't know the release date. I'm cool with cliffhangers. Just don't make me wait 4 years, bro. No, I agree. For TV shows, I think, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Slow Horses from Apple TV. That is what I want for all the TV shows. They are already recording the next season when the previous one has not dropped yet. So at the end of the season that you just watched, they already have a freaking video where it's like, next season. That is unheard of in this day and age. And that means that, like clockwork, every year there's a new season dropping. And that is great. But some of these seasons are taking way too long. Sometimes it can work only for the best shows. But yeah, what suggestions did I give Gorilla for Hunter's Gathering? I can't really talk about that, I think. sadly. But yeah, basically, like I was kind of scared that I might have been wrong about the reaction, and I told them, of course, that what I think would happen, and it kind of happened that way. What about Blood Message? Will we think it's coming 2026? Will it be good? I think Blood Message looks awesome. But I don't think it's coming this year. Again, we've decided that this year is full. No more games in 2026. There's only a VIP entrance for Cal Kestis. Apart from that, and Geralt. Geralt can join too. VIP entrance, rest is Or did you just suggest them to no? Yeah, basically. I wish we could have come in for Hunter's Gathering earlier, because then hopefully they could have still made some changes, because it feels like they're already too far along. But like I said, we will see what happens. For Fair Games, the first test was a very important milestone. Not a good one, because the CEO and the director left. So, we will see. But I think I might do... so, I already saw this on X. I already saw this when I opened the X. Here. Hey, I'm excited to try this out. Thanks for the opportunity. I wonder if there's any NDA and stuff. I haven't seen any. I don't know if I can record videos for my YouTube and stuff. Whoa, this is a closed test, so there's a strict NDA in place. That means no streaming or recording this time. Nobody knows this. Nobody knows this. It's very unclear, so I expect a lot of gameplay to go online. And if you are paying attention, maybe check out their Reddit or whatever. You will probably be able to see gameplay for this game before they take it down. Might be full, but publishers and investors can never wait. I know, but they want their most successful game, right? They want a more successful game, and if like it's kind of like, obviously I'm a bit biased, but I really think if publishers think about what the creators can make, what content creators I mean, and what other type of games that will likely take their attention away during a particular release window, like for example Black Myth Wukong coming out before Star Wars Outlaws. That is why I did not really make Star Wars Outlaws videos, only until way later. And Ubisoft was kind of like, what the heck? You always make content about our games, and I do, because I like those games, and I know a lot of you are like curious about my impressions and tips and tricks, and I like making those videos. But I was occupied with Black Myth Wukong, and those videos did super well. So that is the reality of things, and maybe I'm giving myself too much credit, or maybe I'm giving content creators in general too much credit, but I do think it's important that, like, part of the experience of buying a game at launch, I think, is also then seeing the creators that you like make videos about it. So yeah, it feels like it's an extra, it's like the cherry on top. You're playing a game at launch and you're seeing new videos pop up, so even if you're at work or if you're not being able to play, you can still like live in that world. You can still, whoa, I now see this tip, then when I get home I'm gonna try that out. And if you don't have that for a game, it feels like the launch happened, but yeah, it feels like something is missing, kind of. So I think it's very important for publishers to look at that and be like, okay, if we launch in early September, people will be playing Phantom Blade Zero. Like, Wolverine can probably get away with it. Like, I think I'm only gonna make a review for Wolverine. I don't think much more. Or maybe if there's like all outfits, I might do that. But apart from that, I'm gonna be I'm Phantom Blade zeroing, baby. The Hunter's Gathering Reddit, Melissa, I think that Reddit will likely pop off with the gameplay if people are streaming it or anything. Is the Black Flag remake coming out this year? Yes, yes, it is. But we don't know when. Yeah, Penny, we did talk about it already. WB doing big titles in 2027, 2028. Like, likely Hogwarts Legacy next year then, right? And after that, they might do another title. Is it true the Resident Evil 9 won't run on Windows 10? I don't know. But it's time to upgrade. Windows 11 is free. Get to the dark side. Is it still free? It was free. Yeah, 100%. We've seen publishers, namely Guerrilla, releasing bad Windows over and over again. Yeah. Like, if Forbidden West got its own spot, way more people would have made videos on it. Way more people would have maybe played it and saw it. But no, Elden Ring came out a week later. Couldn't care less about seeing Hunter's gameplay. Hey! I get it. Oh, bad, I joined late. I will watch from start after the stream. Thanks, boss. Don't worry, Penny. We talked about it briefly. So, will Legends be taking away from Crimson Desert, or will Crimson Desert take you away from Legends? What do you think, Peter Shadow? What do you think? I'm extremely disappointed in Guerrilla Games. Well, Anthony, high five. Me too. Pragmata looks really good, Jordan. I'm gonna wait for the reviews. That could be like a surprise hit. But if it's like a 7.5, which I think it will be, then I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not looking into like making puzzles. Bars, thanks for joining, and you're talking in Dutch. The majority of people don't understand that, and yes, it's nice weather here too. Hope for you as well. We finally have some sun here. We finally have around the 10 degrees. I can finally, or I can almost leave my winter jacket at home. Hot take, I don't think they would show games off till 3 months away from the release. I hate when games slow years early, there's no point. Well, that's not true. There is a point. For games being shown early, it might be because they want to hire people. Like, for example, when Arcane announced their Blade game, they before this made Dishonored and Deathloop. They before this made Dishonored and Deathloop. And yeah, now they were like, yo, we're making a Marvel's Blade game. So maybe more very talented developers will be like, oh, I want to work on that. So that is one reason to announce games early. Another reason is a studio is making a live service game like a Fallout 76, but you want to assure fans that you're still doing single player stuff as well. So you announce Starfield and Elder Scrolls. That's another reason to do it. And another reason to announce games early is for investors, obviously, to say, yo, we got big stuff coming. And also to sell consoles. If you, for example, have the PlayStation 5 reveal event, and they, of course, in 2020 already showed, yo, the next big God of War will be on this console, Spider-Man 2 will be on this console, then people are like, oh, I'm gonna buy it now already, because I know down the line I will get that game. But yeah, overall, we have seen games being announced and released close to each other, and that seems to work. And now we even saw last year the Oblivion remaster do a shadow drop, and that did very well too. So it really depends on what people try to achieve. You are speaking Dutch for 5 seconds. Oké, dat is goed. Jeetje, 5 seconds is wel heel lang, maar dat was het dan weer. Any thoughts on Marathon? It's open beta today. Yeah, Penny. I hope you have a good time. I want to try it as well, but there's so much content to make. I still need to try the Pragmata demo. You got some time. I think they're not like changing that, right? I would love another Dishonored. Maybe the new Xbox CEO is watching and it's like, that will be my first order of business. Tony trying to save face after shutting Bloodpoint. That would mean that Sony would actually care, and they don't. They really do not seem to care about the core PlayStation fans. Your Netflix or Paramount, who would you rather buy? Warner Brothers? I think both are obviously not great, but I think Netflix would be the better option. One day I'm gonna wake up and Assassin's Creed Shadow drops AC Origins DLC. maybe in a dream world. But never say never. We got an Odyssey DLC shadow drop. That counts. The crossover stories. This year so stacked. What will we have this year? Or next year? Yeah, remember, this year's full. We only have a VIP entrance for Cal Kestis and for Geralt. But apart from that, it's full. Come back next year. Next year will be sick. We have the new Tomb Raider. We have the new Santa Monica game. We have Intergalactic. We have Assassin's Creed Hexe. We have a new Ghost Recon, maybe a new Far Cry, and I can go on. So it's gonna be a huge year. It's gonna be a huge year. I have no idea what you said because I'm English. Oh, I thought you were Dutch. Of course, nobody understands Dutch, and that is nice when you go on a holiday and you can kind of gossip about people that are standing with you in the elevator and they don't know what you are saying, even though you're talking about them. The perks of having a of knowing a language that nobody else knows. But hey, thanks for watching. Calcassus and his poncho can come in, yeah. And what is the frog's name again? The frog boss. He can come in too. I would love to have him again. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining this weekly news stream as always. Thanks for seeing, if you're new here, usually we do this on Wednesday, but it's cool to see many people join here on the first day as well. Lots of new names, so that is awesome. Thanks Pepsi Cola for becoming the member, and we got GTA 6 next year. It's not impossible. It's not impossible. Hope you have a great rest of the week, of course. Sunday video will be interesting, where we go over the news in more detail, of course, and maybe other stuff will have happened. And then next week on March 9th, I'll be able to share my Crimson Desert experience after having played the new version. And yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. So thanks everyone.